Hello, everybody. It's Captain Marty here, Tuesday, June the 9th. Thanks for coming back and finding us again. And I know you're here for the fishing report, but don't forget to scroll on down and look at our stories. There's some really great stories on fishing on the Outer Banks and really all up and down the East Coast. Some of them are funny, some of them are scary, some of them are about big fish, some of them are about how to get a career in the fishing business, a lot of safety stuff. There's just a lot of interesting stories that you might enjoy. So please take time to go down and pick a story and listen to it. They're all 7 or 8 minutes long. They're not very long, but anyway, maybe you enjoy doing that. I'll be back in just a moment to tell you about what happened on the fishing front and have a quick Big Rock update for you at the end of today's segment.
At Fishing Unlimited on the Nags Head Manio Causeway, not only can you get stocked up with all the bait, tackle, and amenities necessary to fish, but you can also be your own captain. That's right. At Fishing Unlimited, you can rent one of their spacious pontoon boats to go fishing, crabbing, dolphin watching, or just to cruise the Roanoke Sound. It's family fun at its finest. Half-day and full-day rentals are available. Be your own captain at Fishing Unlimited on the Nags Head Manio Causeway. Ready to ride in style? At KDH Outer Banks Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram at milepost 5.5 on the bypass in Kill Devil Hills, we're more than just a dealership. We're the island dealer that deals. Check out jaw-dropping deals on new and pre-owned Jeep, Ram, Dodge, and Chrysler models. The island dealer that deals has the wheels you need and the deals you'll love. Check out our inventory at Outer Banks Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram.com. KDH Outer Banks Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram at milepost 5.5 on the bypass in Kill Devil Hills. We're the island dealer that deals.
So we'll start out down in Hatteras, just like I started out down in Hatteras in 1975. Boy, the time flies. But they had good dolphin or mahi fishing. They still call them dolphin, which is what they're called in the fish book. I love that old school way of doing that. Of course, it's a lot easier to say mahi so people don't think you're killing flipper, which you're not. The mahi is really good to eat. We talk about it every day. And they had it rough. Everybody offshore had it rough today when that wind shifted mid-morning. But they hung in there. They caught a few wahoo, a few blackfin tuna, and two of my best buddies down there that contribute a lot and give me information for this report. Captain Creature on the Sea Creature, Steve Coulter, caught and released a blue marlin. And Ron Whitaker on the released a white marlin. So I suspect that Rom is fishing in the Big Rock tournament. One of the interesting things about that tournament, you can fish it out of Hatteras or Ocracoke. But if you bring a fish if you get one to weigh, whether it's a meat category or a marlin, you have to go to Morehead City and see Mr. Randy Gregory and George Lott at the scales down there. That's just any good tournament, you weigh your fish on one scale. Inshore boats in Hatteras caught bluefish and drum. A little bit more back to what they were doing all through the end of last week. Oregon Inlet, the boats got out, but it got rough in a hurry. A northeast wind's a rough wind for them. But there were those that hit the tuna and hit them good in a short period of time. There's some that didn't. Others caught a few dolphin. There's a couple of sailfish caught. I think I heard of at least one blue marlin released. So it was definitely the haves and the have-nots, but the haves did really well. And one gold star catch, I don't know the exact weight, but my old dock partner, Arch Bracher on the Pelican, he put a yellowfin on the dock that I think Dickie Harris told me was 125 pounds. That's really unheard of for the Atlantic area and yellowfin tuna. So good going to Arch and the crew there. Our inshore boats have had a lot of cold water around Oregon Inlet, so they're back in the sound. We'll talk more about that in the backcountry report in just a moment. Surf fishing, just a scattered sea mullet, a scattered drum. Nothing really to write home about anywhere, but it got a little bit rough. The grass got a little bit scattered. The current got a little bit stronger like it'll often do on a northeaster. So it is what it is. But the sea mullet are the saving grace of our surf fishing industry. Crowd pleasing, easy for kids, great to eat, easy to clean, the whole 9 yards. And if you don't, a lot of people, because of the history of surf fishing, especially in Hatteras, they think you got to have a 11-foot rod and throw it 200 yards. But with the sea mullet, a simple 7.5, 8-foot, 10-pound test line, 12-pound test, double hook bottom rig, a little easy toss right outside the wash. They're in there feeding in the wash, right where the wave rolls up on the beach. And you can catch them. And a lot of your locals, people have been doing it their whole life, will tell you that's about one of the best eating fish you're going to find. I think they're all good eating. These bluefish I'm seeing in the report last night, yesterday at church, I picked on a commercial fishing friend of mine, Gaither Midget. I said, man, I sure wish I had some fish to eat, even a bluefish. And he said, you like bluefish? I said, yeah, because, you don't want to ask a commercial guy for some of his high dollar stuff. But I do like a bluefish if it's fresh and it's cold. And if you're turning your nose up, if you're from New Jersey right now, maybe you have different bluefish than we have. But a small blue, he gave me 2 5-pounders and a couple of Taylor blues. I filleted them, I skinned them, I cut the bloodline out, I cut them into 3-inch pieces. I used a little bit of Louisiana chicken fries, all I had really, but they also do have a fish fry. It's a breading, and that's some good stuff. I'm not a paid endorser. I'm not even an influencer. I can't even influence Justin to bring me a drink sometimes, but I can tell you this, that Louisiana product's really good. You put a little bit in a bowl of water and then roll your fish or your chicken or whatever you're going to do in it. And then the rest of it, the powder you dump in a bowl or a bag and you shake it up and bread everything. And that bluefish came out really good. I put a little tartar sauce on it. And I'm going to tell you something. Anybody that says they're not good to eat, they don't know what they're talking about. So don't turn up your nose at a bluefish. The piers, hardly any of them even reporting. Jeanette's had 65 degrees, a little drop in temperature with a good bluefish bite, and they do report, and I'm grateful for that. Rodanthe Pier, minimal report, bluefish and croakers, and a little bit warmer, 70 degrees as you got a little bit further south. So we'll take a little break, and we'll talk briefly about what little bit I know about the backcountry, and I'll let you know what happened in the Big Rock tournament, so stay right where you're at.
Stock up and cast out with Soundside Sporting Goods in Columbia, your one-stop fishing headquarters right off of Highway 64. From fresh mullet and fresh bait to brands like Fish Bites, Strike King, Gulp, Zoom, Mirrolure, and Bass Lures galore, they've got the gear to keep the lines tight and the coolers full. Need new fishing line? They'll re-spool your reels and get you back on the water fast. With rods, reels, waders, buoy boots, and a full-service tackle shop ready to roll, this is the spot anglers trust before the next big bite. Visit them online at SoundsideSportingGoods.com. Soundside Sporting Goods. I mean, why go anywhere else?
In the backcountry, it's been a little bit picky. I did see my first, well, I want to be careful how I say this, my first fisherman that I knew who's reliable on the eastern side, fishing on the eastern side of the sound. We've been talking a lot about the fish over on the western side, Belhaven and Swan Quarter and over in that neck of the woods, and it's all been kind of slow. There's a few drum. If you know what you're doing, you can catch a few big drum above the slot size. But now we're seeing a little bit of activity over here on the ocean side, the backside of Hatteras Island and the south end of Wanchese. There's a little bit of activity picking up. We're seeing a few speckled trout, very few. Season's closed. We're seeing a few flounder. Season's closed, sadly. And then we have a little bit of activity with some puppy drum and some sheephead, and that is picking up by the day. So that's good news. And then as far as the Big Rock tournament goes, we have an interesting thing. Two blue marlin were brought to the dock yesterday. So the biggest, I'm going to try to make this as simple as I can, and I would encourage you to go to thebigrock.com, www.thebigrock.com, and you can go there and look at the standings, you can look at everything, and if you go there, you'll see that there's a fabulous fisherman prize for the first blue marlin brought to the dock, or landed actually by their landing time, and that prize is worth several $1 million. It's incredible. Then the overall prize money is $7.5 million for the whole tournament, and the biggest blue marlin is going to be the one that goes on the trophy, and it's worth a lot of money as well. So yesterday, the Savannah Lee brought a fish to the dock, 439.2 pounds. They were one of 219 boats that went fishing. And then later in the day, the Free Ranger brought one to the dock, 436.2. And so just 3 pounds different. Neither one of them made that $500 mark, but they're both on the leaderboard. Those fish are more than likely going to get beat with a bigger one, typically. Not always, but typically. We've seen some 700 and 800 pounders win that tournament. So you can go there and you can see what happened yesterday and what it will be 6 straight days of fishing. The boats fish their choice 4 out of 6 days. So today, I think I heard there was 272 boats in the tournament, something like that. So 219 chose to fish today. And we'll see what happens down there tomorrow. So that is my fishing report. Lock, stock, and barrel. We're looking still pretty dry into the weekend. That's good for people laying on the beach. Not so good for Marty the gardener. That county water is expensive to water a big garden, but so far the yield is looking good and getting ready to have some squash for dinner tonight and looking forward to that. I hope you have a great day and the good Lord will bless you richly.